I bid you welcome.
I welcome you to my house.
Welcome to my house.
Welcome to my home.
Hello horror hounds, welcome to my horror house. This time round we're going to be talking about a film from 1977 called Shockwaves, which I saw for the first time last weekend. I'd always known it as the Nazi zombie film with Peter Cushing in it, so I don't know why it's taken me so long to see it. It follows a group of tourists who are on a sort of Caribbean type cruise, I guess, captained by none other than John Carradine, another horror legend in a sort of small part cameo. They run a cropper of a sort of hulking ghost ship after experiencing some strange weather and magnetic phenomena, and then find themselves trapped on a tropical island, assaulted by these aquatic Nazi zombies, and the only living person on the island is one Peter Cushing, a completely unapologetic Nazi officer who is there to add a touch of class, which he absolutely does, and an info dump of exposition, which he manoeuvres exquisitely, as only someone of Peter Cushing's caliber can. The experience of watching Shockwaves is quite a strange one, because history itself and the film itself spoils all of Peter Cushing's exposition, which is what we lead up to. The film is just historically known as, oh, it's one of that wave of Nazi zombie movies. It's got Nazi zombies on the cover. If you haven't seen the film, you've probably seen that image. The film also starts with a bit of narration about during the war, and that there was this Nazi corps of soldiers that were never defeated and never captured, and then we jump to our little cruise ship. So the film itself tells you that it's going to be about these Nazi soldiers. Everyone knows that Shockwaves is the film about Nazi zombies, so by the time poor old Peter Cushing has to wheel out the necessary exposition, we're sort of like, we know, mate. So it's a testament to Cushing's skills that it's still one of the best scenes in the movie. It's riveting listening to him talking about how in the final days of the war, this project was set up to create super soldiers who were neither dead nor alive and who could survive in various different harsh climates, and it was his job to create a sort of battalion of these soldiers who could survive the seas, basically exist in a submarine that never needed to surface. What this low-budget shocker gets right, it gets very, very right, and what it gets wrong is the mistake of an awful lot of low-budget horror movies. I've always said that if you're working on a low-budget film like this, I imagine that you're going to want to squeeze as much as you can out of the surroundings, your location. Shockwaves, the location budget is practically zero. I think $250 to shoot in an abandoned hotel in Florida. The abandoned hotel is luscious, a wonderful setting. The surrounding Florida swamplands, again, amazing. After seeing this and Frogs, which I reviewed a while ago, which is also set in the Florida swamplands, it makes me wonder why. Why doesn't every aspiring filmmaker in Florida go out into the Florida swamplands and just shoot? Because it's money. It feels like you can't point a camera anywhere without money. I think there's also an abandoned hulking wreck off the coast of a Caribbean island that they used as the ghost ship. Money on screen. Wonderful. Spend your big bucks on getting Peter Cushing and David Carradine in. So far, you're doing absolutely everything right. What an awful lot of low-budget movies and horror movies that I've seen get wrong, and Shockwaves also gets wrong, is you don't have the script to back up your beautiful locations. An awful lot of these projects seem to find a great location and have some great set pieces and then just spin their wheels. And so it is with Shockwaves. Once our group is on the island and running around and getting picked off one by one, it's an awful lot of go over here, have a little bit of an argument. Oh, there's some zombies. Go over here. Someone might get picked off. Where are we going to spend the night? Well, let's have another argument. Now it's daytime. Let's go out again. Oh, here's a boat. Oh, no, for some reason, the plot fairy hits us over the head, so we can't use that boat, so we have to run around a little bit more, and then the zombies pick us off one by one. It doesn't ever build to anything. If Shockwaves had built to some sort of final siege, I genuinely think this would have been a real high-end cult favourite. As it is, it's sort of like a cult curiosity. It's coming obviously off the back of Night of the Living Dead. It's a couple of years before Lucio Fulci's Zombie Flesh Eaters here in the UK, which it bears the closest relation to. These shuffling zombies, the sort of tropical-ish island location, a group of Westerners trapped there. It's nowhere near as perfect as Zombie Flesh Eaters, which is at a pinch probably my favourite zombie movie, but it shares an awful lot of DNA with Zombie Flesh Eaters. We're not quite at the Dawn of the Dead era where zombies are cannibalistically, graphically pulling people apart and munching. This is an absolutely bloodless film, and I think that's part of its charm and part of its strengths. It's not like every other zombie movie. The zombies in Shockwaves are unique. I love the fact that they've been designed to be able to survive underwater, but they seem to need to rest in the water as well, a little bit like a vampire in its coffin. So they'll find rock pools or drained, swampy swimming pools, little rivers, to sort of lay in state, almost in sort of hibernation until they're activated again. There are some truly jaw-dropping shots of this group of zombie soldiers emerging from the sea and coming onto the land. 8 actors playing 8 different soldiers, shot to look like so many more. Cushing had to do some running through the swampland, really selling how scared he is of these creatures and the way they emerge out of the water, and they're not there to munch on you, so they just bring you under the water and drown you or strangle you and then slip back under the water, is really eerie. Not like any other zombie I've seen. Very effective. I will say that this slow pace and this repetition and this eerie silent way of killing does evoke a sort of dreamlike quality. That's probably underlined by the fact that I watched this on a Sunday afternoon. I had the living room to myself, so I was able to stretch out on the sofa, put a little blankie over myself, and was just on the verge of sort of nodding off here or there. That sounds like that can't be a recommendation. It's a movie that made you almost fall asleep, but in this woozy sort of like half awake state, some of these zombie attacks just felt like they were slipping in and out of my dreams as well. I think it was an absolutely fantastic mental state to watch the film in. Otherwise, I would probably have got a little bit impatient by the repetition and the pace. We've touched on how wonderful Peter Cushing is. John Carradine plays the captain of the ship that's actually a little bit tatty, probably not as it was advertised in the brochure, and he's a gruff and grizzled and bristled captain who sort of takes no nonsense, and he's so watchable, so engages with the rest of the cast. It's a shame to see him disappear and not share any screen time with Peter Cushing, but once he's gone, Peter Cushing takes over for a bit, and then once he's gone, young Brooke Adams, who I believe this was her first movie role, is engaging and charismatic enough to hold the screen herself as the sort of final girl of the movie, the survivor of the movie. Again, the movie spoils itself. It front ends their story by showing her as the survivor being picked up, and then the rest of the story is told in flashback. Very strange narrative choices to spoil its reveal and to spoil who survives right at the start of the story, and then circle back round to tell us and show us all over again. But yeah, Brooke Adams was, I know I'm speaking in hindsight, but was clearly, the camera loves her. She's got a presence. It would have been very surprising if she hadn't gone on to other things. Okay, the yellow bikini that she wears almost all the way throughout the movie does help. I'm not going to lie. I'm as base as that sometimes. So, very spooky, eerie, bloodless, couple of horror icons in it, some unique zombies that I haven't really seen the like of anywhere else, a better script, and this would have been a gem of a 70s cult classic. As it is, it's one of those films that I think if you love your horror cinema and you love your zombies, you really do need to watch this to fill in that little gap in the jigsaw puzzle of zombies throughout cinema history. Even if it's just to say that you've watched it just the once, you might think it's too slow and that not enough happens, that you won't want to go back and rewatch it. But it's something you should at least definitely watch just the once.